What's going on, everybody? My name is Nick. Welcome to my shop. And right here behind me is the electric bandsaw mill that's pretty much consumed my free time for the past year and a half, but I'm excited to share it because I'm just about done with it. I think it's a pretty cool setup that's really unique from anything else I've seen out there. I actually make furniture professionally here in a 1,500 square foot workshop. And before I started this build, that was really kind of the focus of this build, is to make something that was good for a smaller workspace. I don't have a bunch of sprawling land. I don't have any huge equipment. And really, I'm going into this as a hobby to start out, but I think that's what makes this cool, in that I'm going to be primarily cutting project slabs for my furniture making. I think there's a lot of people out there that want to mill wood, but maybe don't have the space or resources to mill on a bigger scale. And that's kind of what I'm starting here. And maybe over time, I'll kind of scale up and do this as a bigger business. But for now, it's going to be a hobby. And I've actually rented an adjacent warehouse that I'm going to be using to store my lumber in. And over time, I'm going to build a kiln out there, and I'll get a forklift and everything eventually. But for now, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to learn the basics of milling. I'm going to learn how to be efficient at the whole process. And really, that's what this whole journey has been about for me. And I think there's a lot of you that would probably appreciate kind of the approach that I'm taking on milling wood. So without further ado, let's do a brief walk around of this machine. Okay, this is my electric bandsaw mill. And I should probably start by saying that I'm not going to get too deep into all the technicals of this machine just yet until it's completely done. But I want to get everyone kind of a view of what this setup is looking like here. Now, this is my workshop that I actually make furniture in and have been professionally for 7.5 years full time. It's 1,500 square feet, including the spray booth, which is in that big white building. And then I have an office with a few shop cats that live in there during the day. And this is kind of a short bed, wide cut mill that I have built specifically to mill project slabs on. Now, most of my furniture making involves commercial workspaces. I do restaurants, bars, offices, and then of course the commissioned bar tops and tables for clients here and there. So I work with a lot of project slabs. And when I say project slabs, I'm meaning slabs that are around the 8-9 foot lengths, maybe 15 to 22 inches wide. I work with a lot. And so these are just a lot of shorts that I've cut with a Alaskan mill that I actually have owned for a number of years, which is really the scope of my milling experience. But this machine I built with a short bed that can actually cut an 8 foot, 9 inch long log, 36 inch log capacity, and between the guides, when this guide is fully open, it can cut 32 inches wide. So to me, I feel like that's kind of a great size kind of benchmark without needing huge equipment and huge space. Granted, I know and understand that a 32 inch log is a monster, but there's a lot of cool logs that you can find that are in the 24 to 28 inch diameter range that will yield some really awesome material for furniture making, and that's really what I built this thing for. Basically, this the bed is a solid welded frame with some I-beam bunks that I have tabs welded onto. I've got it capped in some 304 stainless steel. I've got some cam locking clamps on here that are, very similar to a lot of mills that are out there, in that, they have a cam locking clamp, but I, dress things up a little bit because I'm a furniture maker and that's what I do. So there's a few things on here that are totally unnecessary from like a performance standpoint. We got a little wooden handle, and I'm gonna make a walnut control panel for all the up, down, start, stop. I've got a solenoid on the laser, or on the coolant, and then I'm gonna have a laser guide on here as well. This guy actually runs off of a 3-phase electric motor. This is a 10 horsepower Leeson motor. is powered off of a VFD since I only have single phase power in here. So that converts it to the 3-phase power. That was one of the biggest criteria going into this build that I had to have. Since I build furniture a lot and I stay really busy with my furniture making, there will be periods where I'm like not milling for probably months at a time. For example, this build has taken 1.5 years and this thing sat almost untouched all last summer while I worked on a wine room in Atlanta area. And so I wanted something that could simply plug in just like any of my other woodworking machines, and something that could sit, that was low maintenance, that I didn't have to worry about. I've got this 10 horsepower electric motor with, it's running some 19-inch Cook's solid steel wheels. I've got the Cook's guides on there that are built into the guide arms, as you can see. Basically, I just wanted something that was really low maintenance, that was really precise, that ran with a little bit of vibration, and that was simple. As I researched all the different makes and models and features on different machines in the market, I kind of borderline obsessed over the features that I could put into this thing. And really, it probably would have helped me to have plans to start this off. And there's a few features that might resemble Matt Cremona's mill. And I'm not going to name any brands in particular, but this is kind of like a hybrid of what I felt were really key features that you want in a manual mill. And I wanted things to be able to be worked on easily. I wanted to be able to go to Tractor Supply and get some hardware or some pulleys or some wire, or, you know, things that I didn't have to rely on parts being shipped to me. Belts that I could find at automotive stores, or even Tractor Supply sells that size belt. Basically, a lot of the sizing and the features built onto this were very intentional to keep it as low maintenance and user-friendly as possible. Now, originally, this build was supposed to be a very simple, bare bone build, and you know, the more I researched, the more I complicated this build, which is part of why it took so long. But and it came to a point where I had to tell myself to just stop researching, pick the features that you want, and just stick with it. And that's what I've done so far. And so yeah, basically 8'9" log with option of extending the bed, which of course I'll do if I grow this operation into something larger. 8'9" log, 36-inch log diameter capacity, 32 wide cut, and just simple. So as I kind of come down to the finish line of this build, of course I need to make the guards for this mill. When I tested it before I stripped it all apart and painted it, I actually had some just quick and dirty plywood guards that I ran on it while I tested it. But now that it's looking nice and finished, I want to get some nice 1/8" plate that I'm going to be making the guards out of. And then I'll make covers for the wheels and scrapers that will keep the track clean, and you know, little odds and ends to kind of finish everything up. But it's just about done. I know there's a lot of people that want to mill out there that don't have the space or equipment. With a little bit of persistence and understanding of physics, you can actually get some decent sized logs onto a manual mill like this. Eventually, I'm going to buy a forklift. I've actually rented an adjacent warehouse. That's another 1,500 square feet that I'll show you guys in another video. That is going to be like my lumber storage warehouse. And it's where I'm going to erect a kiln this year. Well, probably in the spring, I'll get that going. So behind my building, I have a bunch of silver maple and walnut logs that are kind of waiting to throw on this thing. So as I kind of learn the process and learn how to be a little more efficient, I'll be kind of scaling up my milling over time. You know, I have experience with the Alaskan mills, but I'm pretty green when it comes to a bandsaw mill. And obviously, since I made this, I have a pretty solid understanding of like the mechanical aspects of a mill. But there's a lot of nuances with milling wood that you can't really learn until you just dive into it. And so I'm excited to share things with you guys and maybe inspire some of you guys that are thinking about starting a build and just, into just going for it. I should also say that the extent of my fabrication knowledge is doing table bases and legs, and that's about it. I have a Lincoln Power MIG 210 MP, and I've got a weldtable.com fixture table, and those are the tools that I use to make this thing. You don't need to be a seasoned, experienced fabricator. You just need to know how to put down a penetrating weld, and you need to know how to keep things square. And if you can do that, you can make a bandsaw mill. So excited to share more features with you guys of this thing. And as I mentioned, when I get the guards done and get all the when I really get it operating fully, I will give you guys a full up-down, thorough walkthrough of every feature and all the technical aspects of this thing. I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and if you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and drop it in the comment section, and I will get back to as many of you as I can, which I'm sure is not many because I'm a very new channel. And this is Booty. Check Booty out. He'll just come up and just claw your leg. Say what's up, dude. Fatty. I know that milling wood is a big process. There's a lot to it. And it's a reason why a lot of people have a lot of space and equipment to get it done efficiently. But I think if you temper your expectations and you go into it easy and you look at it from an efficiency perspective, I really think it's possible to mill project slabs on a smaller scale, if not for a business, at least for fun in a workshop type setting. Thank you guys for watching my video. Excited to show more of this thing. If you guys have any questions or additional comments, put them in the comments section and I will get back to everybody that I can. All right, see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.